Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts with John from Pro Craps over here. Running a little bit late this morning, I know. I'm sorry about that, but things are what they are. So let's jump out here and do our morning YOLO. Wouldn't be a Coffee and Crafts without the YOLO. So we're gonna do a special one today. I'm gonna start with my normal YOLO, and we're in a good spot here because over the course of the last week, we started with 20K. We're up over $7,000 in profits now, which means we can run the YOLO only from profit, our first ever risk-free YOLO. And I may actually do a second one. Let's go ahead and take a look at this here. I'm gonna run out my normal 6,400 across. So we'll take from our profit stack, 6K and 400. And there's our 6,400 across. And I'll take the $100 and we're gonna go ahead and grab the hard ways like we've been doing. Get all 4 hard ways up, which you can't see on screen, by the way, but they're over here. Trust me, I've dropped $100 out of my rack. I put 4 greens on the hard ways. So if I lose the hard ways, que sera, sera. And we'll take the one roll. I feel like I should do something with the horn. Maybe I'll put $50 on the horn, we'll see. Let's do, you know what? It's not worth it. We'll leave the horn be. I'm not gonna drop 500 in the field. I could drop 500 in the field, but that's gonna take away from these wins up here. Maybe we'll do 400 in the field. That's what we'll do. We'll do 400 in the field. That way, if we win up here, we win 1,000 minus the 400. We'll take that, and we'll have 150 in our rack left over. And that's gonna be our YOLO roll this morning. And then if we win this, we're gonna go ahead and take a second set of rolls here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my dice up top. Here we come out. And what do we do this morning? Hard 4. Oh my God, look at that. Hard 4. Best of all scenarios right there. So we're gonna win over here. Nice fat $2,000 on the easy 4, right? On our place 4. And the hard 4 over here, $25. We're gonna win 7 of those. 7 of those feels like 175 to me. And that's gonna be our YOLO win for today. All this can come down. We did A-okay. I'm gonna put the profits over here together so we can enjoy them in front of us. And then what I'll do is I'll take the basics. We're gonna lose, oh, actually the field pays too. Wow, look at that, the field pays. Everything pays today. We are just all over it. I think Skill is watching us play from his bed over there. So we're gonna put all of our base bets back in. I'll leave the profit sitting there. And because we know we've got our friend watching us over here, let's go ahead. Actually, these come back too. Those are my initial bets from the hard way. So I'm going to take actually these 4 back because those were part of the initial play that we made. And there's our initial output. Now let's take from profit again, and let's do the skill 66. Let's play the skill 66 with profits and to see what happens. We'll do 660 inside. So I'm going to take $100 or $1,000 here, and let's run out 660 on the inside. That's going to look like 150 here and here, and 180 here in the middle. 150. Let's see, 150, 175, 180 on the insides over there. And from our $1,000, we're going to get back 360 in change. I'll put that over here. And let's go ahead and run this up and see if we can't get from 660 to 880 and then back down. It's going to take us $100 to do that. Let's try it out. Let's see if we can get the skill 66 to work for us here in real time from profit. There's a Yo 11, which does nothing. Does nothing. Give me a roll here, will you? Love to see it work out. There's a 4, 2, 6, a 4, 2, 6. So looks to me like, what is that, 180? That's going to pay it fat 210 coming out the door there. So 210, and I might as well pay that in nickels because we're going to need the quarters rather. We'll need the quarters for sure to get this thing done. So there's going to be 210. We're going to drop $100 out here, and we're going to go ahead and bump everything up by a level, which looks to me like we're going to go 50, 50, 50, 50. I'll break this one here down. I think I'm out of quarters. I'm out of quarters. I'll take them over here. 50 over here. So we're going to bump this thing up all the way that we can. So we're going to go to 100 in there. We're going to bring these up here as well. So we're going to go 880. That's going to be, oh boy, what do I need here? 200 and 240. Yep, 240 for each of those. All right, 240, 240, and 200. There we go. All right, we are set. Can we make 880 work for us here? Can we get a couple of hits and come down? Let's see if we can do it. Come on, skill, make it work. There's an 8. Fantastic. So the skill 66 goes from 660 to 880. We're going to go back down now to 440. There's 400, 25, 30, 40, 25, 35, 40. And all this can come on back. And we are now set and in profit already. Let's play it out. Let's see if we can't make some money in here. And I know that Skill likes to play a half press, so I'll do my best to get the payments right here if we can keep this thing going. We 7'd out. That's okay though, we got it to work. We got down here, we got a little bit of profit showing from that. We got our 2 hits, we came down. We're up by, in this case, it'll end up being $60 that we're up by once you come down from 880 to 440. So hey, it worked out, right? We got through it, made it up. I think he watched over us on this one over here for sure. And we've got a good profit for the morning. So that's our YOLO roll today is complete. That was kind of fun. So anyway, let's pack all this up because that will all go back to the bank. And let's get back to the regular show. I'll clean this mess up here in just a minute. Let's see, this is gonna be our profit for today. I'm gonna keep all the profits over here on this side. I'll calculate our totals later on and update the page so you can see it as we go. So there's that. Let's put this back over here. All right, let's get to our announcements this morning. Good to see y'all here. Good to see y'all here. Yeah, good morning. Let me take my glasses off so we don't get the glare. And I think we're, again, a little bit delayed, man. This setup, for some reason, my cable's like 2 feet away and I'm getting this weird delay on the voice and the thing. Doesn't matter. Let's go to announcements real quick. And I'm gonna depend on Jeff here. I actually wrote to Joy this morning to get some kind of an update on Dylan, and I haven't gotten an update. So if you're new here, right, and you haven't, this is, by the way, April 4th, 2022. Yesterday, Dylan from Skill and Luck had a cardiac incident. Not sure if it was a heart attack or what they're calling it, but he was taken to the hospital and he had a procedure. He had a couple of stents put in. He was pretty badly blocked. I know from experience that that's not a good thing. His wife took him over there. He was in ICU yesterday while we were on the live show last night with Jeff Skill, with the Jeff Mid-Atlantic show called Craps Chat. Don't know if he's doing better today. I haven't not heard from Joy yet. So if I do get a message, I got my phone sitting here. If I happen to hear from her during the show, I'll give you an update. If Jeff, if you're watching and you happen to get an update, could you let me know? Let the team know here in chat what's going on. If you have anything to share, let us know. But everybody else, we had a little bit of fun with Dylan there, but you know, in all seriousness, keep him in your prayers, keep him in your thoughts. If you're the praying type, he can certainly use that. And of course, you know, all the mahalo for him, all the aloha for him as well. He's a great guy. Skill's a great guy. The guy eats, sleeps, breathes, craps. He drives a truck, and I think he's thinking about how to make bets the entire time he's behind the wheel. And he's just one of the best thinkers that we have. So whatever we can do to kind of, you know, boost his spirits and Joy's spirits would be fantastic. So just keep him in your prayers and thoughts. And we're going to kind of, you know, do the show today, and we'll be thinking about him the whole time. So with that said, our regular other announcements are these. Coffee and Craps, there'll be no show on Wednesday. I'm traveling to the East Coast. I'll be on an airplane Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. So there's no show Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then the first part of next week, Monday for sure, I probably will not do a show on Tuesday as my guest, because I think I'm flying back in the morning from Philly. Next week when I'm in Jersey, I'll do more off the cuff. I mean, it won't be like, I won't have my table, obviously, right? So what I'll do, I got some Wind Craps programming lessons planned to do that. just to kind of give you a window of how I do things with Windcrafts. We can do some more Q&A type of stuff, whatever else you want to talk about. But there'll be at least Monday, Tuesday, at least Thursday, Friday this week, and then Monday for sure next week. 3 days where I'm not here at the table. If I go to the casinos, and I'm sure that I will, I'll give you all trip reports. So we'll do kind of a, I may even get some selfie images there with Jeff and the guys while I'm gambling with them. So it'll be an abnormal-ish kind of show next week, but it'll be fun to get some live reports from a different state than Washington. So that's that. The Friday Night Fights test runs. We're going to do one more tomorrow here on this show. So tomorrow's show will be Buckeye Slim has offered up his services. So he would like to battle somebody in a show. So if anybody wants to do the Friday Night Fights, I'll deal Buckeye versus whoever writes back next. So if you want to do it, drop it in chat or drop me an email. Either way, john@procraps.net is the email. Let me know. We'll get it set up. I'll get you guys connected into the system so you can talk to the people and all the things. So if you want to do that, let me know. Me tomorrow for sure, dealing that. And I'm assuming that Jeff will do one on Friday night again. If we get the rules to be agreed upon and we're all good with the timing, I would say we'll open up signups next week. And next week we'll take everybody who wants to play. Let's get all y'all in there. And maybe we can get like 30 people to do this thing. So we'll start putting the word out here and getting some signups for it. And if you want to do it, the more the merrier. There's no king of the mountain if there's nobody to battle. So I need to have like 25 people. So everybody here, and there are how many people live? There are 31 people watching me now. There's going to be 100 and some people watching this after the fact. Sign up. If you want to do this, I'll get you a sign up form. Let us know. We want to have you out there playing. Make this thing cool. The whole point is that it's for us. So there it is. Mid-Atlantic says, I communicated with Joe this morning and shared the well wishes. Thanks for everyone during the show. Did she give you any kind of a sense of how he's doing, Jeff? Or did I miss that chat? Let's see. I'll wait for you to respond back in there. So hopefully, and Stephen, Christian, my email is john@procraps.net. john@procraps.net. There you go. All right. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Good to see you here. Good to see everybody here, by the way. A lot of folks here today. Greg, in honor of you, you know what? My phone actually is not with me. Shoot, I'll do this tomorrow, but you inspired me yesterday, Greg. Greg did a really nice video on the Chris Rock thing, on the slap, which, it's, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. So what I've decided to do, and not in response to Greg, just because Greg maybe started thinking about stuff, I'm deleting Twitter. I'm going to go publicly, and not that Twitter gives a shit about John deleting Twitter because they got 1 billion subscribers, but Twitter is filth. It's just garbage. When I open up a Twitter account for ProCraps and I open up one for CGTV, just so that we could use it as a way to kind of promote the show a little bit and kind of get some more eyeballs on it. When I go into that thing, all I see is garbage. All I see is politics, and it's suggested for me all this stuff that I don't want to read about. I'm trying to avoid, especially with the midterms coming up, I'm trying to avoid the cesspool that is U.S. politics right now, and you can't get away from it. Twitter's just shoving it down my throat, so I'm done with Twitter. The slap thing, Twitter made such a with this thing. And the more you look at it and the more you read about it, and again, maybe it's Twitter, the more BS it sounds like. Like it was such a staged thing. I'm not even sure if it was violence. You know what? The thing is that is this. Pfizer, here's a good one for you. If you're a conspiracy theorist, reason me this. Pfizer sponsors the Oscars. Pfizer is putting out a major alopecia drug. And this whole thing was about Will Smith's wife's hair loss. So you tell me, is that a bunch of BS or not? I don't know, but I'm not playing it anymore. I'm done. Twitter can go to hell. I'm done with Twitter. That's the kind of crap that's getting into my head now. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to focus on dice and math and you all. So I'm done. I'm actually done with social media. It sucks because it's a good way to communicate. There's people that watch this show because we had a Twitter account and because but I can't do it. My brain can't handle the disgustingness that it's become. And side note, I did a TikTok account for ProCraps and for CGTV. I deleted that app inside of 10 minutes. I downloaded TikTok so I could put some short videos out there to kind of get, like Dice Degen, right? I'm trying to get to a younger crowd a little bit. Jesus, you look at TikTok. Oh my God, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. That should be gone. Like TikTok should be like smoked out of existence. That's like the worst I can't believe that that's what people are spending their days on. No wonder we're in such a place. Anyway, I'm not going to be as eloquent as Greg is on this stuff. I'm done with TikTok. I'm done with Twitter. I'm done with basic politics. I cannot take it anymore. I love you all. Let's play craps. That's what it's going to be about. So we're going to go to the craps table. Let me talk to you about some stuff over here. So, oh, geez, what happened? Did I turn it off? I think I did turn it off. What happened? Hello? There we go. Geez, I'm not sure I did there. We're going to talk today about progressions. And the reason why I want to talk about progressions is because of Greg. It's funny. I did a thing the other night. I was practicing stuff and I said, let me flick the camera on like I always do and practice my stuff live. And, you know, I love progressions, right? I like a flat betted don't. I like to progress the bet as I win. And I really feel like, progressing your bets is the way to get it, because there's very rare times when you hit one of those nice little streaks. When you're in a streak is the time to kind of get after it, because you don't get those often enough. And it's the one time you get the casino kind of over a barrel a little bit. So I like to take advantage of it. At least I think I do. And I want to analyze a little bit what the different ways of betting streaks are, and if you even should bet them at all, you know. And Greg so Greg, I know he didn't do it in response to my video on that, but he was doing a Paroli evaluation anyway. And he explained it really well, and they did a nice long rollout of it. I'm going to explain it not very well and do a very short rollout on it. So you're going to get a chance to see it. And I want to do it, I want to say it's a comparison, but I want you to look at different ways to progress. I'm not going to do a ladder today. A ladder is a way to progress. I'm not going to do laddering today. I may do it tomorrow depending on time. We'll see if I have time to get it in. If not, I may have to do it next week. We'll see. Because the laddering is interesting and it deserves its own day. I think that the way that Waylon has been laddering some of his stuff, where he considers not just a bet to be laddered on, but the don't pass and the 6 and the 8 as a unit themselves, and the whole thing gets laddered up and laddered down, changes the math of the ladder a lot. It works, and it's interesting how it works. It doesn't work like a normal ladder does, and I want to dive into that and really break that down for you, because it's a little bit, I don't want to say confusing how it works, but it's interesting how it works, because it's not the way a normal ladder works. It relies on a couple of the other moving parts to make it happen, and it's really neat how it works. But to do that breakdown is going to take more than the time I have in one show to do. So maybe I'll cover that tomorrow. We'll see if time allows. But anyway, let's talk about regular ladders and the regular progression type system. So hope you can see this clear enough. I blew it up as best I could. I ran WinCraps last night. I finally got my WinCraps fixed so I can run it again. And here's what I did. I ran about 10,000 outcomes. There's 4,900 and 4,760, whatever. Just like 11,000 or so total outcomes. Just about 10,000 total shooters. So making a point, missing a point, whatever. Here's what you find out. Okay, and this is I've done this a number of times. Okay. Oh my God, follically challenged, really? I know I'm looking in the chats, and you guys are talking about other stuff, which makes me laugh. Anyway, I do this progression, the 1-3-2-4, which requires 4 hits to win. Greg was doing the Paroli, which requires 4 hits to win. Let's take a look at what the chances are of getting this. So here I'm going to point to the screen. Point this way. It's weird because everything's backwards. Point to the thing. What you expect is about 50-50 on the pass and don't pass. Now the first line is how many consecutive wins each of them get. So you win the don't pass, you lose the don't pass, it's a consecutive win of one thing, right? About 50% of the time, each of them wins one in a row. So that's the chop that you see, right? That's the typical table chop. Interesting though, look at the don't pass, 48.5% or whatever. That means that half the time you win one in a row. So 25% of the time overall, you win one in a row, which is not a lot. Let's go at it from that point first, right? You're going to win half the time the don't pass wins, period. Half of the time it wins one time in a row, right? 24% you get two. You get 2 consecutive wins, and 12.5% you get 3 consecutive wins, and then you're into the abyss. Then you drop down to getting that 4th win on the don't pass or the pass, right? It's 6.6 or 6.3%, depending on what side of the line you land on, right? 6% chance of getting 4 in a row on either of the lines. Now, again, you're going to find the aberrations. Here you see there's actually, out of 10,000 rolls, we had 10 in a row hit 3 times, right? You're going to get the amazing thing, right? You were doing the 3 hit Paroli. I've seen the Paroli done as 4 hits, right? Greg, I believe, and I think what you're saying here is this, line 3 is the one we should be looking at, right? Anything that requires more than 3 consecutive hits should be thrown away, right? I've done 4 hit progressions on this show, and I never seem to hit them. Well, here's why. Because if you actually run it out over 10,000 shooters, you only get it about 6% of the time. That's a bad play to make. So the Paroli that goes to 4 is nonsense, and the 1, 3, 2, 4 also nonsense. A 1, 3, 2, a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 4 Paroli, that can make some sense. Okay, so even at 3 though, man, 12.5%. That's not a lot to hang your hat on. So I think it's good to know the actual numbers when you see this. And I did the same result here numerous times. So I ran the same progression actually I was up till really late last night. After the show was over, my brain was on full tilt, and I did this like 3 times and they're all within a half a percentage point. They're all the same. It's always about the same in this roll here. So I think Dr. S just said it. 3 is the key. Greg, I'll even put up here. 3 is the key from Dr. S. 4 is insane. It just doesn't happen enough to rely on. Okay, it doesn't happen enough to rely on. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you on the table not only what does it look like for the 3 hits, because I think that's important to see, but I want you to see what your rack looks like following 2, 3, or 4 or whatever hits, because I think it's very interesting to see the impact in your rack, how we're going to do it. And Greg, I'm going to use your basic 5-5-5 don't system as the baseline, because there's no progression in that one. It's going to be the one that I flat bet basically, but I'm going to flat bet it with the odds. And there's a reason for why I'm going to do that. It's going to be to demonstrate volatility. And I want to show a little bit of what that looks like in the rack. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to switch to my close-up table view here and work through just what that looks like. I'm going to turn my back on the chat, so I won't be able to see you all writing here, but I'm going to put some bets out here. And I just want to talk about what it looks like as we kind of cycle through this thing. So let me get some chips over here. And let's see, I'll do some greens. I'm going to maybe need to pull from my other rack here in a minute, but let's just look. I'll take some greens and some reds and some whites. The white chips are fine because we're not going to deal with odds except for on Greg's bet. So we're just going to really be counting units, and we're going to do the best case scenario for the don't, which is a point of 6 or 8, and we get a 7. So we'll do the max payouts there. So let's just count wins. And I'll use my Pro Craps Lammers. We'll use 3 of those to count the wins. I'll put them right up here in the field so we can see them. And let's see, do I have a clean rack? I think I do. Hold on one second. There we go. Can you see that on screen? I'll put it up here so you can see it. There's a clean rack. All right, let's take the 5-5-5 don't system, and we're going to do 3 times that system. We're going to do it 3 times. And we'll assume that we get a win every time. We're going to assume that it works out perfectly. And so Greg comes out with $25. Actually, I'll turn these to the black side. The blacks will be the non-hits. So he comes out with a don't. Let's say that we establish the point of 8. And then we come out with the $30 lay. That's the standard basic system. And we're going to play this today 10 times. We're going to try this exact thing 10 times. So out of the gate, you've got, we're going to call it 2 units. I know there's extra here, but you need that for the odds. 2 units of volatility guaranteed every shooter, right? Let's call that out. It's going to require 2 units to get through it. Assuming that we win, right? You're going to win on the first time $50. And that goes back to the rack. So after win 1, sorry for the dog. After win 1, you've got money in the rack, which is fantastic. Okay, after win 2, let's do it again. We set the point of 8, we 7 out. You have another $50 in your rack. Fantastic. After win 3, and here's the butter zone. We say 3 is the dream. Let's pretend that we lived the dream. And I'm missing a green chip, so hold on. Let me get some other greens over here. We live the dream, and we get another hit. So your net profit on 3 hits is obviously going to be 6 units. If you can get 3, you're going to earn 6. If you can get 1, you're going to be quote unquote even. This is profit, but you still have money out here for the next one. You don't really show a profit until that second hit. So it really takes 2 hits to be in guaranteed profit. Guaranteed profit meaning what you have out here has been covered and you have extra. You could call that profit on hit number 1 if you wanted to, if you took your stuff and you went home, right? But we're not going to do that. We're going to say it's out here, it's at risk, you've earned it back. Hit number 2, you're in profit. Hit number 3, you're at goal. That would be the way. And so the Greg system in 3 hits wins you 6, okay? After the first one, you're working your way back to even. After the second one, you're working on profit. So let's remember that is the way it's going to be. If you can get 2 in a row, you're in profit. 3 in a row, you're eating steak that night, okay? That's the basic 5-5-5 system. Now let's look at some of the other options that you've got. Let's do the Paroli that Greg was doing yesterday. The Paroli only requires 1. So your volatility goes down by half. You only need 1 unit to work. On hit number 1, you win a unit and you stack it up, okay? Let's say that you win. So on hit number 2, you got those 4 and you stack it up. On win number 3, you would win 4 and now you finally get to come back to your rack. Minus the one that you started with, your profit, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 extra unit in profit than Greg would have gotten, but you don't see 1 dime of that until you've won 3. And there, to me, is the big difference between the way that Greg plays it and the Paroli. There's 2 differences. One is the initial volatility is 1 unit versus 2. So this system is safer in terms of your overall exposure. However, the reward, which is 1 unit better than just playing it flat with the odds, isn't even seen until you have to get 3 in a row. And I think Greg showed that great on his video where he ran through, and never, I mean, how many times did you roll that out, Greg, before you actually hit the 3rd one in a row? It's crazy, right? How hard it is to get 3 in a row anywhere, the field especially, but it can be a hot minute before you get 3 in a row. That's a tough one to hit. So here's a case where the profitability is about the same, a little bit more. That's a reward that's not, to me, worth it if you don't see anything until roll 3. That's kind of crap. So there's the Paroli breakdown. Now let's do the progressions that I have been promoting all the time. We'll look at the difference there. So in this progression, your initial is 1 unit. Okay, so where the point gets set to 8, Greg's going to drop at that point the odds, and he's exposed for 2 from this point forward. With this one, you're only out there for 1 to start with. Let's turn these off, okay? And after hit number 1, you have to add to your rack, from your rack. Now you're at the 3 unit level. So after hit number 1, remember Greg was even, right? He brought back his first wins and he was even. This person here not only isn't even, now they're at full exposure. So after 1 hit, they got nothing to show for it, okay? After the second hit, when this person wins 3 units, right? Greg, remember, would have brought back 2 to his rack. He would be in profit at this point. This person regresses back to 2 and brings back the profit. Now after roll number 2, they're in the exact same spot. So after 2 hits, they're both in the same position. This person had to put more money out there to get there. Now on roll 3, if we win the 3rd one, you're out here, and we're not going to stack it and go to 4. He's going to bring this back to his rack and would have actually, again, 1 unit extra, same as the Paroli, 1 extra unit over the base system. At roll 2, they're in the same spot. The difference is that Greg on roll 1 is even. This guy on roll 1 is more upside down than he started with. So his exposure increases on roll 2. Greg on roll 2 is actually in a position of playing from a position of safety. He's got his money back, and his second roll, looking for the streak, is from a safe spot, where this guy on the second roll, where he adds 1 from his rack to the winnings, has increased his volatility on roll 2 versus being safe at roll 2. That's a big thing to think about, right? Let's look at that again, because I think that can't be understated. We'll put both players side by side. I think it's cool to see this. So we'll put Greg here in the the progression player here, and again, we'll have nothing happening yet. Point gets set. They both have money in their rack. They both have a quarter out here. The point gets set. Greg's exposed, right? First win comes. He wins 1. Greg wins 2. Greg comes back and is essentially even in his rack. We'll take his odds with him, of course, right? This guy here is more exposed. The difference right there should be obvious to you. Greg has got, technically speaking, profit. He's about to play his next one, but he's even for his initial exposure. This guy here is not even. He's upside down. Next point gets set to 8. Greg comes back out. He has the same level of exposure. 2 units here, 2 units of exposure here for this guy. When this hit comes in, now things even out. He takes his hit. This guy takes 3, regresses down to 2, and comes up into the rack. So there's the difference where after roll 2, they're both the same. At roll 2, this player has a decided advantage because they're playing from a position of complete safety, which I think is interesting. Let's compare again, Greg. And I want to use that as the baseline because it is a great baseline to compare to. Let's compare that to another way that I like to do this, which is the regression up and pull. This was the John Patrick system that Ken always talks about. Let's do the exact same thing again. This player will also have 2 units in their rack to start with, as does Greg. The 5-5-5 method. We set a point of 8. Actually, they're both on the don't. Here's what's going to happen. This guy's going to have 2 units out of the gate on the don't. Right from jump, he's got 2 units out there. Greg has 1. We set the point. Greg goes to odds. Both have the same exposure after the point's been set. There's additional exposure here at the come out, right? Once we're in the roll, though, the exposure is the same. This person could technically win more money on the come out 2s and 3s. So there's that little advantage. Let's say that, though, shooter misses their point and we get a win. They're both going to win 2 units. Greg's going to rack the 2. This guy here is going to actually rack, he's going to regress down. He's going to rack 3 units. Okay. Now, technically speaking, he's ahead of the game, right? His exposure, well, if the puck goes off, obviously, they're both back up in their rack like this. There's the initials. Their exposure is going to be the same. We get a new point of 8. Greg's back out, obviously, for the thing in the odds. This guy's back out for only 1 unit. So he's locked up his profit. He's going to be in profit for sure. He started with 2, regressed down to 1. He's locking this in, which is he's actually in better spot than anybody so far is at roll after that first win. Let's take the second win. Okay, Greg, again, wins a unit on both. He's up his 4-unit level. This guy over here is in his press mode. He regressed. Now he's up at roll 2. At roll 3, again, Greg takes his win. He's at 6 units. The regression up and pull guy is going to be here. He goes up and pulls, and he's set at a 3-unit level for the next one. Greg is back to his base level. He's going to flat bet the whole thing. Look where we are after 3 rolls. After 3 rolls, right, the 5-5-5 method is 2 units to the good over the RUP guy, but this guy's got now more potential. And as we know, once you get 3, this paying off, the 3 units that pay off, there's a 6% chance of that working, right? And that's where I think this system falls short in craps. That's a tough one to get. The RUP works great in Baccarat. It works great black and red and roulette. It works great other places. It does not work great here, based on what I've seen. So that 6% thing feels like it's really hard to get to. So I think that's the way we do it. And yeah, so I think, I don't know. To me, this is telling me a whole lot of what I need to know. So look at this thing here. I broke this down last night. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot to this, and I think, you know, a lot of people will poo-poo Greg and say, oh, you know, it's boring. It's boring. It's the what's the point of doing this, right? All day, really? That's what you're going to do? And Greg said on his show one time, and I, you know, of course, will believe him, that a casino worker said to him, "You're the only guy that ever wins over time." Well, there's the reason why. You just saw it. You just saw it. So I think that's actually pretty cool there. So there we go. Hope that makes some sense. And I'm going up here. Let's see. I'm looking at Greg here. It's the issue we have with Andrew's 1-3-2-4. Hit 4 never comes. right? The 3, 2, 4, sure, right? That can, and again, these progressions can work in so many different ways, right? There's so many ways to run it. The numbers, whatever they are, I like moving up. I like the regression system as well, but the regression system, as you can see, leaves you at roll 4 with not enough money. You know, so if you're going to regress up and pull, that third one's got to be a full pull. And if it's a full pull down, you can be even. So why don't we go ahead and roll a little bit? And let me go ahead and switch. I'm going to switch some stuff out here real quick. Give me a second to get my table reset for you. And then I'm going to pull up. Let's see. Let's get these over here, this out of the way. I think I've got 250. All right, let's put this back out on the table here. You haven't seen this yet, but I'm going to put this out like so. We're going to change our screen. And I think if I change the screen in the right way, you should see the players. I'm going to need some help here. So let's do this table wide, and you should be able to see who's who. Let me slide this down a little bit here. There we go. Now it's lined up with who's playing what. So in the front left, we're going to do the Paroli system, right? It's 10 $25 chips. That's it. We're going to do it. We're going to try it 10 times. Rush up and pull over here. In the front, that's going to be 10 $50 tries, right? The 1, 3, 2, 4, or the 1, 3, 2 is going to be in the back. Again, $500 bankroll, 10 times 50. We're going to try that. And of course, we'll use Greg's up in the top there, which is the more complicated rack. I've got you set up here with 10 shooters at $55. So we're going to do that, $30 no matter what. The interesting thing about this one is that I did it on the dream scenario with the 8 and the 6 as the point. You know, if it gets on a 4 or a 10, that odds win is only $15. So we'll see what happens. At the end of this thing, I'm going to roll for a few minutes here, and we'll see what kind of money we can make with each of those strategies. And that's going to be our plan here. So let's use the red dice. We're shooting for big red. I'm going to use the red dice, and we'll see what just happens. Here we go. We're going to come out to a 6. So our point's going to be a 6. And of course, nobody's on the line, right? Let's go ahead. This is going to be, so the player on the top left here is going to be, let me get my glasses on here so I make sure I get the right ones in the right spot. So Greg over here, I'm going to put you over here. You're going to be pass line or don't pass with odds. The Paroli guy is going to be right next to you, Greg. In the front here on the left-hand side, from my left-hand side, I'm going to make sure I can put that where you can see it. This will be the regression up and pull. I'm going to put him here. Can you see that? Can I get him there? I'll put him there right in front of the bars. And this guy here in the back is going to be the progression guy. So the progression guy is going to be here on this side. I'll try and remember where I've got everybody's money as we go. Let's see if we can't make a point here. Or let's make a 7 rather. There's a 6, so everybody loses, which is good. And I've got to remember who to pay. We all lose. London Bridge is falling down. Is that what it is? All right, so again, in the front here, this guy here is going to be the regression up and pull. This is going to be the progression. This is going to be the Paroli, and this is going to be the Greg over here. 6-5 yo. Everybody gets their ass kicked. Here we go. We'll try it again. So again, once again, the front. This is going to be the regression up and pull. That's going to be that guy. This is going to be the Paroli guy. And this is going to be Greg again. So Greg's rack is getting a little messy because we had a couple of losses in there. So that's okay. We'll keep him steady. There's an 8. 5, 3, 8. It's our next point. So Greg comes out with his odds. 5, 1, 6. There's a 1, 2, 3. Ace deuce. I know y'all can't see that front left side of my table there. There's the 7. All right, so that's good. Everybody gets paid here. 5 or 4, 3, 7. So Greg is going to get paid on the 8, the $50 we talked about. That's going to come back into the rack along with his odds. I'm going to put those wins in the back side of his thing. We'll keep piling up the wins back here, and I'll keep the front of his rack as sane as I can to make it make some sense. So there's that. That's Greg. He's back on with his basic don't pass. This guy over here in the front was the Paroli guy. He's just going to take that and hammer it. Okay. The progression guy here, which is from the back side of my rack, he's going to get his win and add to it. He's going to go to 3 units here. The regression up and pull guy is going to take his 2 chips and regress down, and back to the rack he goes. He's actually in pretty good shape because he got beat twice and he just won a few. So he's going to be in good shape. We're going to come out to a new point and see how we all do. There's a 4-1-5. Good point for everybody. Greg is going to lay on the 5. $30 to win 20. Everybody else is going to stay put. And that would be, by the way, we'll note this with the white chips. That's 1 in a row. We're going to try, I'll try and keep like, if we get a run, how many times we get a run of what size. So this particular run is on a run of 1. And we'll just see how many times we can win in a row. There's a 4-2-6. And this is less, there's a 9, by the way. This is less of a comparison between the ways as a demonstration of how hard this is going to be to get anywhere. This is actually, put it where you can see it. It's going to be so hard to get 2 or 3 in a row. That's what I really want to see. It's less about which strategy worked the best. And it's not even like these are strategies. It's more about, just where and when do you put your money. I'm a big believer in, you only win when you have money on the table. And I think this is putting more money on the table when you have a chance to. This is putting more money on the table when you have a chance to. The other two are completely streak betting. So it's interesting. There's another 4-2-6. There's the 7, 6-1-7. I'm going to mark that up as our second win in that streak. And again, we're on a point of 5 here. So the 5-5-5 system wins 20 and 25. That will come back to the rack. And again, we'll put all the wins that he achieves just off here in the back side of the rack to keep them separate from everything else. We'll bring back that odds play, and he stays put, okay? This player here is the Paroli. He gets paid, and he's shooting the moon. He's going to stack that thing right up. The other guy that's doing the streak betting, he's getting 3. He's coming back to level 2 and bringing 4 back to his rack, regression up and pull, gets a hit, and now he's up next time he pulls. Here we go. Next point's coming out. There's a hard 4. It's a great point for the don't. Great point for the don't. Here we go. Greg's going to come out again with his odds. And that's the worst case for that one because this is going to be 30 to win 15. So not ideal profit-wise, but again, the flat bet is where the money is. And there's a 5-2-7. So we did get 3 in our streak, which is absolutely tastic. So Greg is going to get 25 and 15. Again, I'm going to bring those profits to the back side of the rack here and just kind of keep lining those things up so we can see how good Greg is doing back here. And if you want to get a count of where he is in the roll, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So because we lost 2, he's actually a little bit behind in his initial bankroll. We could actually take the profits if we wanted to, and I probably should do this, and reset. There's 9. Let me get another thingy here. There's his initial bankroll, and his profit ends up being what's in the back. So we'll keep working, keep trying to work the front side of Greg's rack to give a sense of profit. So the Paroli guy hits the home run, right? He hits all 4 of those, right? And because we're doing a 3-hit progression, he's done. He's going to come back down. He's going to bring it all back down and go back to 1 unit, and he wins a fat 7 units, which is fantastic. He's ahead. Super cool, right? The guy that's doing this strategy here, I'm out of green chips. Give me a second to walk over here. Actually, what I'm going to do, because it's Greg. Greg is the star of the show today. I'm going to go ahead and get these green chips. I'll use Greg's table green chips because the other green chips I've got are in the YOLO rack, and I want to make sure I don't forget to count those. So this player here is going to get paid his 2, and he's done, right? 1, 3, 2, he's done, comes back to the rack, and he's ready to fight the next battle. Okay, regression up and pull guy gets paid 2 and pulls, right? He's going to pull it back now, right? Normally he would say, actually, no, he's not. He's going to take his 2, he's going to press and pull. So he's going to go up and pull, up and pull, up and pull the entire time. That's how it's going to work. So there they are. Everybody's set. We're back. Greg's got to go back out. Here we go. New point. 1, 3, 4 again, but that came exactly at the right time, didn't it? One roll later than the 7. Perfect. Back on the 4. Here comes Greg's odds. Now, the only thing I feel like is unfair is that this guy is going to regress up, or is going to up and pull forever. It puts him at an advantage, but that's the way that you play the RUP. You're just going to go, you regress and you up and pull forever. That's the way he goes. He's very exposed here to not winning at all on this shot, but it feels maybe unfair to be testing 3 against everybody else's baseline. They all pulled back to base. This guy here could have been 1, 3, 2 and betting 4 now. So I don't know if this is fair to have this guy at 3 units. I'm going to keep him up there because, again, that's the way you play that system, right? Everybody else, if you're doing a 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, you keep resetting your rack or resetting your base bet. So I'm going to keep that here on that level. There's a 4, 3, 7. So look at us. Look at us rolling 7s, baby. 4 in a row. Okay. Again, on the right side there, we're going to get 25 and 15. And again, I'll bring all this back to the rack. There's his initial bankroll. There is the profit section. Greg's doing great. This player over here, the Paroli, gets paid 1 and goes to stack. The progression player is going to get paid 1. And he's going to, this is from his rack back here, he's going to get 1 and he's going to stack it up. The up and pull guy is going to get paid 3, go up 1, and rack 1. So he's going to go up a unit and pull whatever profit every single time. Greg is back out for a baseline bet. There's an 11, so there it is, right? The progression guy gets burned for the extra chip that he threw out there. He was extra exposed and lost it. Bummer. The regression up and pull guy was only out there for 1 chip. Everything else here is profit play. So he loses 3 units in potential profit, but he was only ever at risk for that 1. Not awful. Paroli guy loses his base bet, right? And his profit. So he doesn't really go any deeper in the hole. He just didn't win on that one, okay? And over here, Greg is going to just lose the quarter, not the end of the world there. So there's that. I think I paid the Paroli guy in the wrong spot. I think as I'm looking at the screen there, I think when he won his 7 units, that should be over here. I paid this player his money on that 1 shot. So that was a mistake. So sorry about that. His rack is actually right now. So that was a big miss by me. So sorry for getting that screwed up. Here we go again. Out clean. There's Greg. There's Paroli. There's regression up and pull going out for 2. There is the progression guy going out for 1. New point coming. Oh, wow. Look at this with the 4s. A 1, 3, 4 again. Ding, ding, ding. We're down here. Again, Greg will throw odds on that. Everybody else is just going to watch the magic. There's a 5, 4, 9. There's a 4, 1, 5. There's a 5, 1, 6. And there's the 4. So everybody loses. Again, no laddering here. We're just going to lose and live to fight another day. There's the losses coming back. Everybody's going back out at the same level. The regression up and pull guy is doing 2. Ladder guy's doing 1. Paroli guy's doing 1. Greg is doing 1. Here we go. New point coming. 5, 2, 7. We all lose, which makes it easy to track. Okay, he's out for 1. This is the, which one is this? I keep losing my damn play. This is regression up. He goes out for 2. This guy's out for 1. This guy's out for 1. Greg is again out for 1. Here we go. Next point. Puck is off, by the way. I keep forgetting to turn the puck off. 7. Oh my gosh. Now that we're getting the parade of ugly. for these don't players. Okay, here we go again. We're just gonna have to reset and replay it, right? That's the way that it works. So again, this guy over here, up and pull, he's got to put 2 out there. This guy here is going to put 1 out. Paroli's going to put 1. Greg's going to put 1. Let's get a point. Come on, let's get a point, shooter. 10. First one we've seen. It's a good point for everybody. Again, Greg will lay on the 10. And again, not doing any sort of like pressed up lays or anything crazy. I'm just literally going to play it straight up, not chasing a thing. Just want to play them straight. There's 2 9s in a row. There's the 10. So now we're on the streak of we've lost, I think, 4 times in a row. I should probably put that out there in reds. Actually, it's interesting. We lost. We had 11, 2 7s on the come out, and now we just lost on a point. There's 4 losses in a row following those 4 wins that we had in a row. So that's a little bit ugly. Look at the trend. If you're in win craps, that is 2 enormous spikes in this game. Isn't that crazy how ugly that is? Here we go. Let's just do it again. Again, 1 from here, or sorry, 2 from here, 1 from here, 1 from there, and Greg is out for 1 again. Midnight, nothing happens. Nothing happens. We haven't gotten paid on a craps number yet, which is not normal for me. I usually roll a lot of craps numbers. The puck is off, by the way. Now it's on the 5. All right, Greg, let's get you your odds out there. All right, you're a little behind. You got your 4. Nice thing about the lammers, by the way, you can tell exactly how far behind you are. You start digging in, you have extra lammers sitting out here. That means you're donating money. You can easily see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's lost 4 shooters worth of money as we're doing this. So the lammers give you that information, which is sad as well. And there's a 3, 2, 5. So that's our 5th loss in a row for the don't pass, right? Not fantastic at all. Where I was at a green chips before over here in my rack, in my dealer rack, I have too many now. That's not a good sign. Here we go again. 2, 1, 1, and Greg is out again. We'll make this probably our last shooter. Actually, we'll take 1 win. If we can get a win anywhere. Oh my gosh. 5, 2, 7 again. Woo! I think Greg's got a system where we lay the back wall and jump into this from that, the ultimate Andre, that we could be running here, but again, not switching it up. I'm not gonna switch it up. There's 6 consecutive. So you have 4 consecutive, 6 consecutive. Nobody ever gets to tell me again that there's no such thing as a trend in this game. I don't wanna hear it. Don't wanna hear about no such thing as trends. That's BS. Up and pull is here. The progression player is here. Greg is gonna be down here. Paroli is gonna be in here. An 8. We're on the 8. We're going to go ahead and drop the odds out there, Greg, for you. Grab our dice, and let's have an outcome that we can all be happy with. 7. Whew. Finally a 7. There's the first one in a row. So regression up and pull player is going to obviously regress and bring this back to the front. He's going to be a little bit okay with that. The progression player is going to have to add 1. He's increasing his exposure. The Paroli guy is just going to do a flat press. Greg is going to be like, hell yeah, I am outie. I'm out of here. I'm getting my money back, and I'm going to reset my rack and try and earn my way back to health a little bit. So he's going to get at least 1 shooter back from that mess. Here we go. Puck is off. A 9. 6, 3, 9. If we get a streak of reds, I'll keep running here. If we get a chop and lose this, I'll stop, just for the sake of time. There's a hard 4. There's an 11, yo 11. Does not matter. Oh, Greg, I'm sorry, I didn't get your odds out there. There's your odds, there's the 7. 2 in a row. We're on a point of 9. Those odds pay 20. So you get one of your own chips back, plus 20. That's great. Let's reset your rack so that you look you look proper up here. So we'll try and get your money back as best as we can. There's 55. So you're still 3 shots down. You've got a bunch of reds back here in profit. You're doing okay. The Paroli guy gets a hit and presses it. The progression player takes a win of 3, goes down to level 2. He's back up in here. The RUP guy gets his second hit, and now he's up. He pulls the next one down. Here we go. 5, 2, 7. Let's get something good coming out of this thing. A 5, 1, 6. All right, Greg, back on the odds for you. Here we go. 4, 1, 5. 5, 3, 8. Nice in the middle there. Another 4, 1, 5. There's a hard 10. 10 the hard way. Not that it matters. I had a hard 4, 3 easy 4s, an easy 10, actually 2 easy 10s and a hard 10. But they're so far apart that you're playing that strategy. It's not probably ideal today. I've had a lot of them, but I've also rolled probably about 100 times. So it's not like that's a good streak to try to jump into. There's aces. Let's go big red. What do you got for me? There it is, big red. 6, 1, 7. And again, the streak continues here. We're going streak, streak, streak. Very interesting. So on the 6, we get paid like this on the Greg side, which is great. I'm going to bring back that. I'm going to try and get you again, reset to the best of my ability here and get you even. So you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shooters. You're almost back to square one, Greg. You're almost fighting the battle to get back to normal. The Paroli guy here is going to win 4 and go for the home run, right? That's his thing. He's bumped up now. He's going to actually he's got it. He's got his 4. He's done. He's back. He's back to square. The 1, 3, 2 guy wins his 2, and he's done. He's back to square. The regression up and pull guy gets paid 2, and he goes up and pulls. So he's bumped up. Everybody else is back to base, which is again, the unfairness, but that's the way that strategy is played. So I'm not going to ever let him out of it. And here again is the 11. So trying to get hit 4. We all go down in flames. Let's see who made money here. I'm going to get Greg's nickels colored up. There's 2 quarters. So his rack ends up being like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's $50 light. He has 9 out of 10 that he started with. So he's minus $50 after winning 8 times or 7 times. Not great. This guy over here, which was the Paroli guy, he hit the Paroli twice. He hit the 3 twice. He has 1, 2. There's his 250 that he started with. He started out with 250. He's got a net profit of $100. Okay, hitting the home run twice never hurts. So he's actually up by 100. Greg is down, in this case, by 50. The regression up and pull guy got hammered today. Being out there for 2 at a time during that come out loss series just crushed him. He started out with 500. He's got 100, 250. He lost half his bankroll. And again, being out there for 2 during the come out losses was just too much to overcome. This guy right here had bought him for 500 as well. So he's got 1, he played the progression system. 1, 200, 300, 400, 500. He won a quarter. So in today's competition, if you want to call it a competition, the Paroli and the progression guy both won. RUP got hammered. Greg floated good most of the day. This kind of a run, this 6 losses in a row on the don't, that's not normal. And I want you to know this, right? That's not normal. And 2 people showed profit, and Greg didn't even get his butt kicked. Greg stayed just good. I mean, $50 loss in a streak like that, that's okay. That's actually really good. This is the one that got hurt. Coming out there with all the exposure early, those come out losses will eat you up. If you're getting 11s and you're not getting the craps numbers, that will be a soul crusher, right? I still don't ever hedge for this because I know I win more here. But in this particular case, that was a harmful situation for that player. So there it is. That's your look at progressions. And more importantly, I'm going to put this back on screen here. That's progressions in general. And I really want you to take a peek at this in terms of not so much which way would you play, because this is not an endorsement of anything, right? This is a look at, if you're building a strategy of your own that you want to play your way to playing, what's the best way to build out part of it, right? I play a way where, the don't pass to me is one part of the horseman. So the horseman has the don't pass piece and the come bet piece, right? My question is always, how do I play the horseman, right? Do I play the don't pass part of the horseman in a progression with the Paroli, with an RUP, or with a flat don't with odds, like Greg does? That the don't pass piece that can be played separately from the 3 come bets, and how do you play it right? I do this kind of stuff here all the time to decide what's the best way to play that part of that bet as I'm building a larger strategy out. So I hope that was actually educational. And Greg is saying that 555 don't was designed for volatility protection, and it's exactly what it did, Greg. I mean, it's such a great way to play, and it's I want to say this, the beauty is in the simplicity of it, right? It's a no-brainer. It's a quarter, it's 30, it's a quarter, it's 30. And in a good streak there, you were way up. During that first 4 in a row, right, you were up by $200, which was fantastic, right? You withstood the bad streak, you earned it back, and then you're in position now to kind of to go through. And I think it speaks volumes to that strategy. The Paroli system luckily got 2 home runs today. 2 home runs out of 3 series. That's a miracle, and that's why that person ended up ahead. Honestly, I think that winning 4 in a row and 3 in a row in rapid succession like we did today is the abnormal case. You don't normally see those big swings like that. So that thing won, I want to say almost in spite of itself, right? The other 2 systems, again, the progression system, I like to attack after a win, attack the win. I may revisit that a little bit and see, well, what's the best way to get to roll 3? What's the best level for roll 3? You mentioned earlier, Ray, going like 3, 2, 3 or something like that. Look at what happened to the regression up and pull. Going out there with a bigger don't in the beginning, too volatile. In a case like this where you have those come out losers, that extra volatility crushed that one. And that's unfortunate. And it's good to see. I think it's good to see how they all work. And again, I'm not trying to compare this versus that. It's more about how do each one of them perform in the given rhythm of a table. And I think we learned something by watching it play out. And in fact, it almost matches the chart that we saw. So I think that's actually pretty solid. So there it is. All right, let me ask you all what else is in chat. I'm going to go through chat and see if there's anything here for me to read specifically. Let's see. You're saying I could actually Paroli the odds too. There it is. That's a great, interesting thing, right? Because you're going to win on the odds. You can actually, if you Paroli the odds, that's interesting. We should try that at some point. I think that'd be kind of fun to see how that works. Let's see what else we have. A Greg's strategy works better when he incorporates the roll count to increase the odds. True, and I didn't do any of that, right? There's no thinking here at all. This was a straight up, how does the base strategy without any alterations to it work over a series of rolls? That's all that it is. When you try and read the table, it skews the results, and I'm trying to get a statistical result here, so I don't want to make any decisions that would skew the outcome of the dollars. That's why I didn't do that. And it's also why I didn't play from the back while moving forward. I wanted to say just on the relative 50-50 bet, how do we do? And it's interesting. We had 4 wins, 6 losses, 3 wins, right? So you're not quite at 50-50. You're at 7-6, which is where you expect to be over time. It actually worked out almost perfectly statistics-wise. And let's see. Yeah. And so I've covered all those. Is there any other questions that we had? I don't see any other major questions. What else is being talked about in chat? If anything you need me to address that I missed while y'all were chatting while I was rolling, somebody let me know if I need to answer a question. But otherwise, I think we're about done there. So let's see. Oh yeah, Dice DJ, I have to ask you that too. I saw the question here, when are you going to post the next one? Make sure you give me your schedule, and I'll add your schedule and a link to it from the morning announcements here. So I'll make sure we get that covered up in the morning announcements. And we have to. I'll spend some time, Buckeye, with you tomorrow. But Buckeye's here, and we're going to talk about your channel, dude. You're launching a channel. It's great. I can't wait to see it really going, and taking off. So that's going to be cool. We'll get you on camera here tomorrow and do some things. Let's see what else is going on here. Dylan. Oh, here we go. Dylan remains in stable condition. That's all I have for the month. Good. He's stable. That's great. I'm glad he's doing well. The stents are recoverable, and he's going to be a different person. When you get the stents and you get to breathe. My wife told me after my heart attack, and I had bypass surgeries to get my blockages cleared up. I remember her saying to me, "Oh my God, you're pink again." Like, she's like, when you had the blockages, nobody knew I had them, obviously, and Dylan the same thing. She's like, your color was like, you're like always like a shade of gray. Like your skin was gray, and it was because it wasn't getting blood pumping. After the surgery, my skin turned pink like it was supposed to. Dylan's gonna feel like, whew, like he can, like, you get this boost of energy from this. He's gonna be so much better when he's out of this thing. So good for him. That's really good to hear that. So let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, so Waylon, that's what I was saying earlier. I'm going backwards in chat here. The ladder parlay would have done, interestingly, I didn't have enough chips to do it, actually. So I want to do this again. And it's funny, Sideshow did a thing this morning. We got 4 or 5 don't strategies going at the same time. And I wrote him, and I'm like, my God, you did 4, it's great. There's probably 30 more. People think you can only play the don't pass one way. You can play the don't a lot of ways. And you're right, the ladder parlay would have been a thing, and the straight ladder. I would like to do the same thing with a ladder parlay versus a regular up and down ladder. And again, I want to keep the 5-5-5 basic don't as the baseline, right? It's good to have a one that you know is gonna, what you know it's gonna do as sort of the control method against the other two. I think we're gonna do that for sure. I want to pursue this because I want to get down to what is the way to play the don't in the Horseman. What is the way to play the don't in the 6, 7, 8? What's the right way to? Because that to me is a separate thing than everything else. So that's why I'm doing all this analysis. So we're gonna get back to that. Let's see. Duracell, you wish I had a roll tracker. I tried the roll tracker last week. I got to talk to Troy, who made the roll tracker thing. It fries my computer. It takes like a minute for every roll to register. So what I've been doing offline is going back and watching the videos and writing down the rolls. I got to find a better way. You're right. We need a better way to see it and go back and compare. I can, if you think it would help, and put it in the comments if you do, I can get better at writing the rolls down and updating the videos and putting the rolls at the bottom of like the description of the video, so you can just run them through, because that'd be interesting to do. So I think you're right, because comparing them against what just happened is pretty cool. So let's see. What else is happening? I think that's it. I'm not seeing anything else. Tomorrow will be the semifinal. Thursday night might be the championship at 9 Eastern. Cool. I'll actually be there on East Coast time to watch that. So, yeah, Greg, I hear you there. It sucks, man. It's, and what you all don't know is how lucky he was, right? And I think a lot of people who have these things happen to them are lucky. He was at home, so he drives a truck for a living, right? This could have happened to him on the road, right? Anywhere in the country, he could have been on the road driving around, and he could have dropped behind the wheel, right? He could have dropped at a rest stop. Nobody would have known about it, right? He was at home with his wife. They live blocks from a hospital. She's like, get in the car, we're going. Off they go to the hospital, and he was in the hospital within 20 minutes of showing symptoms, right? That's the reason why we still have him, right? Because by the grace of God, he was with somebody who could deal with it, and they were close enough to get it dealt with in a timely fashion. That's a beautiful thing. So as bad as it is, it ends up being in a really good place for him. So I think that's good. So there's that. Yeah, a lot of this. A lot of my heart goes out to Dylan. It's a tough deal. So I'm glad you all are throwing up the hands for him. And I know that he and Joy maybe aren't watching this today, but I know that they know. Jeff's in contact with her. They know that we're doing it. And I think Jeff offered to forward every email or thought that you had to the family. So if you want to write to Jeff at midatlanticraps.com, do that. Jeff will forward them over to him, and he'll have a nice stack of well wishes from all you guys. That's going to be a great thing. So, Yeah, Jay, you're saying the right thing. Power walk more. I walk almost every day. I've got a dog that requires walking, so we walk all the time, and that's what I do. I do work out a little bit too. I get some blood flow. One of my things, by the way, just because I've been through this. My studio is in the basement of my house, and I've got like those little push-up bar things by my stairs. And every time I go upstairs for a coffee, I crank 10 push-ups out, right? Or I do something to keep my blood moving, because you kind of have to think about that. We all are older now. We got to think about it. So get the exercise in. It's all good. Waylon, you're right. Not his time yet. Not his time yet, right? He's got lots more to pour into all of us. So, all right, you all, pray it up. Get well, darling. Hope you have a okay time of this, Joy. We pray for her too, because Joy's having a tough time too. You got to remember, the wife having to deal with this is not an easy spot to be in. So I give as much of my prayer time to her as to him, because I know she's dealing with an awful lot. So it's definitely a tough deal for both of them. So keep me your thoughts all day long. Jeff will keep us updated. And that's it. Y'all have a great day. Love every one of you. God bless y'all. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll do a little Friday night fights in the daytime. I may do a little bit of ladder comparison. We'll see if we have time. But that said, have a good one. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. Where's my end screen? There we go.